This is an example of an image for the Cubist collage that has varied opacities and then varied blending modes. So as you look, some of these images are see-through, some have different values and colors that are adjusted. So basically this video will walk you through how to blend your images versus having them just become that opaque regular photo that you're working with. So for your collage, once you have it put together, you're going to be clicking on your individual layers and playing around with the blending modes, which are right above the layers panel, and then the opacity that is to the right of it. So I'm going to start out and just choose on this image one that I want to get started with. So I'm going to start with this eye. So I'm clicking on it so the layer gets selected in the layers panel. And then as you scroll through the blending modes, you'll notice that some work better than others. So some might just bring that black background through. And then others will mix a little bit better with the picture so that they are somewhat see-through. So I might go with this option here for screen. With your background layer, it might also help if you set it to white so that as you're working, your image or the layer might become a little bit more visible. So as I scroll through some of these, it might be show up a little bit better on the white background. So something to think about is playing around with your background as well. I'm going to leave it here so that I can partially see it and then find another photo to change the opacity of or the blending mode. So I'm clicking on this picture here and just kind of scrolling through these blending modes. I do like how I can see a little bit of the overlap with the picture underneath for multiply. But again, see which one works for your specific image and the spot that you're at. Some of these, such as exclusion, add a little bit of color, so that could be interesting to play around with. And remember, you could combine some of these with other edits as well that are additional collage options for you to work with. And then the opacity is right above that layers panel as well, so you can play around with the opacity to make some of those layers maybe a little bit more see-through. So maybe on just some of them you're adjusting the blending modes, some you're adjusting the opacity, and then some you can maybe do both. So this could be interesting to have that little bit of texture on some of them. I do like being able to see that square underneath, so I'll leave it set there. But play around with this, see which different blending modes work well. On this image, I made sure to still have certain spots visible, so making sure you can still see the eyes pretty well, the lips and nose, but really played around with those blending modes on the outside especially.